My Carolina Panthers just potentially made the move of the century, trading up with the Chicago Bears for the first overall pick. And in this video, I'm going to give you all the ins, the outs of the trade, as well as if I think this was a good deal. But before we get into all that, I feel as though I must say, let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
From the foe, you dig?
Welcome to The Way I See It with Jamario Rashad. This is the Carolina Panthers fan channel. Please do me a favor by hitting the like button and make sure you subscribe, as I got a lot, and I mean a lot, of fire Carolina Panthers content coming up after this big news, so you do not want to miss it. So to get into this entire topic, if you have not heard, it is official. My Carolina Panthers have officially traded up for the first overall pick, and we will have the pick of the litter of any player, but let's be real, of any quarterback in this upcoming class of prospects. And now, what you all may be saying is, just what did they trade for that? So for them to be able to get that, according to Adam Schefter, we traded the compensation per Bears trading the number 1 pick to the Carolina Panthers, the number 9 overall pick, the number 61 overall pick, a first round pick in 2024, a second round pick in 2025, as well as wide receiver DJ Moore. Now, to just translate through all that and to just give you these significant details, to me, the only details that matter, we have a first round pick swap with the Chicago Bears. A lot of people are acting as if, like, when we traded 2 first round picks, it's like we were getting nothing back. No, one is a pick swap, so essentially in the end, you're only giving away 1 first round pick. We gave away the 49ers, not ours, the 49ers second round pick that we acquired in the Christian McCaffrey trade earlier this year. The 61st pick will be going in that deal to the Chicago Bears, as well as our star wideout, or former star wideout, DJ Moore. Those were the only significant aspects of this entire trade. This thing is not as immense. It is not massive. We did not get fleeced in any way, shape, or form. So do not fall for the national media trying to get you all to believe that BS. It is not true. You notice how you may have never even heard DJ Moore's name mentioned before, but now that he's moving on to a big market, large market team up there with the Chicago Bears, all of a sudden he's just an all-star. He's a perennial all-pro. He is the piece. He is the missing piece. He's AJ Brown. That's bullshit, and everybody knows it, man. So to move forward, man, do I think that this is a good deal for my Carolina Panthers? The answer to that is hell yes. Do not let anybody convince you that this was not a good move. Scott Fitterer is absolutely cooking right now. This was a great deal. Now, the first thing I want to discuss is making this move. Contrary to popular belief, it still allows us to be primed for a full draft. Not only will we be getting the first overall pick, but in this draft, we also still own our very own second round pick, a third round pick from the San Francisco 49ers, a fourth round pick from the 49ers, as well as our own fifth round pick. So we have 5 additional picks to go along with the first overall pick in this draft. So for anybody pushing the narrative that we traded DJ Moore, that we do not have anybody to throw to, those people are just being ignorant and acting as if free agency is just not going to take place this year, as well as we're just going to skip the draft as soon as the quarterbacks are taken. Those people are stupid, and they need to use their Twitter fingers to go talk about movies or something, because they don't know what the hell they're talking about. So to move on, it will not only be just this year that we will be able to have a pretty much full draft. Now, moving into 2024, that is what we gave up our first round pick. But beyond that, we have a pick in each of the subsequent rounds after that, be it our own second, third, and fourth round pick, a fifth round pick by way of San Francisco, as well as Tennessee, and we have a 6th round pick from the Arizona Cardinals for trading Robbie Anderson. So in the next 2 years, in this upcoming draft and in the following draft after that, we have plenty of draft capital to be able to pick our guys or be able to package the picks that we still do have, move up, and to make additional moves to go out and fill the subsequent positions of need with this team. We are set up for success, and this indeed is an absolutely great move from the standpoint of what we will still be able to do with our draft capital after being a suboptimal team, to be nice, for the better part of the last 5 years, man. Now, the next thing I want to move on to is the fact that there have been reports that there could potentially be more moves to make. I know some people may hear that and just be like, man, what the hell? Why would they do that? We have the number one pick. If you have your guy, go ahead and get your guy. Well, according to Ian Rappaport, when this story officially broke just 2 days ago, he said that that the team owner, David Tepper, is actually a big fan of Bryce Young, while our head coach, Frank Reich, stands as a big fan of CJ Stroud. Well, having the first overall pick is a good problem to have, especially when you have a team like the Houston Texans that are just as quarterback needy as we are. And unlike our team, they may have their eyes set on one particular guy. So if we can be in the clubhouse saying that if we get either this guy or the other guy, we could be cool with sliding back to the number 2 pick and picking up additional draft capital in this draft or potentially in drafts to come, that would just be amazing GMing work. And like I said before, Scott Fitterer would just be continuing to cook, man. But that is all speculation as of right now. But before we even made this move, there were plenty of reports saying that Houston wanted to move up to that first slot to be able to pick their guy. So what on earth should have changed from then until now? I honestly don't know that answer, because I don't think there is one. Now, finally, a big part of this move that a lot of people felt was the most contentious part, what pulled on their heartstrings the most, was the fact that we had to separate ourselves from our wideout that has just been so consistent, so great for us over the better part of the last half decade in DJ Moore. He was unfortunately included in this trade, man. But I do have to say that I think at the end of the day, with the team being in such cap hell as it was after going after all of these retread quarterbacks, throwing out bad contracts to players, just untimely trades, all of this stuff, we were seeing a lot of restructuring of contracts with multiple players throughout the week leading up to this free agency period that is going to begin in just a few days. DJ Moore was in the latter part of a contract that he had received a few years ago that he was going to account for over 10% of the cap just himself, and that be it that large of a cap number when we are still trying to pay other parts of the team and be able to bring in free agents. It was pretty much speculated that he or Shaq Thompson may be a cap casualty to either trade or being cut. Well, Shaq Thompson was able to restructure and extend his contract, and he is going to be staying with the Carolina Panthers. But DJ Moore, unfortunately, with his large cap number, was shipped to the Chicago Bears. But ultimately, I think the biggest reason for that was that our star pass rusher, our Pro Bowler, soon to be All Pro in my opinion, and I believe the opinion of a lot of people, Brian Burns, is up, and it is time to pay him. Now, whether or not he will break the bank and be the top paid pass rusher in the entire league, actually leapfrogging over either Von Miller or TJ Watt, whoever got paid last, I am not absolutely sure, but he has been the one consistent piece we have had on our defensive line, despite what a lot of Panthers Nation feels about him, whether it be saying that he doesn't show up in the big moments and all this, that, and that. All of that is BS. Brian Burns is the heart and soul of that line as Derrick Brown continues to emerge, as Frankie Louvu continues to improve. Brian Burns has been the one consistent piece, even without Hassan Reddick, that puts up pressure, that gets sacks, and that can get the defense off the field. So we have to pay him no matter what, man, and we have to pay him whatever he wants. And I for one am totally comfortable with the team deciding to make that move to make sure that Brian Burns does not go anywhere, because to me, and I believe to a lot of the knowledgeable football people out there, their opinion, this may not be fact, but an opinion that I do share with them, is that a wide receiver is a lot easier to replace than a star pass rusher. It just is what it is. When you look at the draft, as I mentioned, we still have a myriad of second rounders, third rounders, beyond. Look at when you look at a lot of the top receivers in the league as it stands today, majority of those guys were not drafted in the first round. It was in the second, third round, or later. You could look at Stephon Diggs, DK Metcalf, AJ Brown, Tyreek Hill, and even as recently going back to last year, when the Pittsburgh Steelers picked up George Pickens. You can get a star wideout, and you do not have to have premium draft capital to be able to go and get that guy. So for those saying who is this rookie QB going to actually throw to, they're being ignorant of free agency, as well as they're being ignorant of what we saw in Garrett Wilson last year for the Jets, what we saw in Chris Olave last year for the Saints, what we saw in Sky Moore for winning a Super Bowl with the Chiefs. They're just choosing to ignore the fact that you can draft rookies in the later rounds, beyond the first round, that can still come in and have a huge impact on your team. They want to just act as though because DJ Moore was established that it will be hard, or he is irreplaceable. As much as I love DJ Moore, that is just simply not the case. He arguably may have been may be top 15, but he had no argument for top 10 in the league. And part of that may be because we didn't have a QB to get it to him, but we have not seen that much consistent play or just dominance from DJ Moore. As much affection as I have for him, he is replaceable with the large toolbox of draft picks that we have coming up in these next two drafts, man. And now the final point I want to make, this is just one that is just a little bit more narratively driven, but when you look at the transition of these recent college QBs coming into the NFL, I believe the biggest success story can be seen in Joe Burrow's second year when the Cincinnati Bengals, although everybody in the world was telling them that they needed to go out offensive lineman, they said that we are going to go out and get this guy's favorite receiver, a person that he has great rapport with, and we are just going to let those two guys be the offense. And since then, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase have just been absolutely dominant. And I say all that to say that with the extra draft capital that we indeed do still have, we could potentially see a similar move with the Carolina Panthers trying to trade up either this year for Jackson Smith and Jigba, or waiting next year, which potentially will probably be a little bit harder, but it's good to dream, and trying to trade up in the 2024 draft for Marvin Harrison Jr. to pair with who I hope we draft as our QB in CJ Stroud, man. But that is just wishful thinking, and again, narratively speaking, from what we've seen from the Cincinnati Bengals, I think that could be a match made in heaven for my Carolina Panthers, man. But those are my thoughts on this move, man. Shout out to my Carolina Panthers. Shout out to David Tepper. Shout out to Frank Reich. Shout out to Scott Fitterer. Shout out to everybody that is involved with turning my team into a serious organization once again, with being charged and being ready and just being motivated to bring this team back to prominence by way of the draft, and not being motivated either by me and my bully tactics, either like behind this mic or on Twitter, as well as other people trying to troll you. It doesn't matter. Like, yeah, we have opinions, but at the end of the day, I can say, although I do not agree with everything, I totally respect the direction that you are going, and you have my, like, for the entirety of this year and next year, my 100% unwaning support. I totally love the moves that are being made by my front office. Shout out to them, man. So with that being said, man, you all leave your comments down below. What do you think of this move? Do you think that we won this trade, lost this trade, got fleeced, fair trade for both? What do you all think of the move? Who do you think we're going to get as QB? Whatever you all think, leave your comments down below, and I will be sure to get back to you. I am fresh off vacation, and I am ready to talk about this news, man. And with that being said, I am Jamario Rashad. This is the Carolina. This is the way I see it. The Carolina Panthers are going to get CJ Stroud, and I'm out. Peace.